Well,
My man.
how we doing, buddy?
Good, bud.
I got to be honest. Your hair is looking fucking on
Really?
point today. There's one
Really?
swear word. Did you do anything different to it, or just is that
Yeah.
a good length?
Yeah,
Listen, it's all about good length.
I know. No, this
Not
is
just with your hair either.
Do you want me to give you my secret right now?
I mean, give our listeners a secret.
Bumble and
my hair
Bumble-
will never look like
Bumble and Bumble salt spray
that. Yeah, I used to use
before the
it. Didn't
blow
make my hair look like that.
before the blow dry. And then it's funny, but I go back to this. It's a paste that I used to use when I played in junior. Jared Allen used to first have this hair gel. I remember it vividly, the smell.
Where can you still find that stuff?
Fucking Amazon, but it's on another swear. Shit, penny jar.
Yeah.
I said shit too.
I think you could say shit.
So it's a black, it's
It's
black
like
black tube, baby blue top.
Wow.
And it's called like DeFi or something. And it smells good. Like if you smell my hair right now, you go like, that smells good.
I'm okay. Listen, I love you, bro. I'm not going to smell your
You
hair.
don't have to
all right?
smell
We're
my
gonna
hair.
Draw
but
the line of smelling
you
your
asked
hair.
me what.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
Should I tell you or
Yeah,
should
no,
I
it looks
not?
good.
Okay.
I just said I'm not going to smell your. I mean, it looks good.
So that's.
I'm assuming it's. If
I'm
looks
assuming
like
it looks good if you
If it
compliment me.
smells the way it looks, it's got to smell fantastic.
It smells.
It looks great.
Great.
Yeah,
it smells great. It smells better than it looks. Okay?
Wow, that's a statement.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how good it looks.
And you just got out of the pool, which typically, as an avid swimmer,
Yeah.
and our buddy Cody Leibel can contest to this. The chlorine and like that's why they wear those swimming caps, right? But
Is that why? I thought it was friction.
Is it friction?
I don't know. Maybe it's to keep the health of the hair.
I thought it was for the health of the hair, but maybe that probably doesn't help because it still gets. But I draw the line at swim cap.
Yeah.
Like you'll see some guys get in the pool and they look like remember the show Big Daddy Scuba Steve. They get in with
scuba?
Yeah. They get in with the hat and the snorkel and I'm like that's too much. Like, I got to draw the line there.
Is Scuba Steve in Big Daddy? Isn't he in a different one?
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Where he tries
What
to
a
thump.
movie.
Where he tries to thump the guy's wife the whole time. Scuba Steve.
Are
you for scuba? No,
No,
that's my girlfriend. Or that's
that is Along Came
50
Paulie.
First dates?
No, Along Came Paulie.
Yeah.
Ruben, are you for scuba?
Yeah, Ruben.
What'd you do? My name is Ruben, not Ruben. Not Ruben. My name is Ruben.
That guy's just a horny.
That is the
swim
French
coach.
the French upshaw. He's just out there. He's just out there with a boat and
a boner.
He doesn't even have his scuba license. He just goes around to the 5-star hotels and honeymooners and says, "Hey, jump in for a scuba here, baby." Throws anchor. That's funny.
Good stuff.
Hey, speaking of swearing, have you ever seen the movie Private Parts with Howard Stern?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jenna
When they do the skit of swear words on there,
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to say it because Max gonna have to edit it out, but it's a great skit of where Howard Stern is trying to break through the world of listen, saying the F word or whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
No,
Cock,
shouldn't
balls,
be.
whatever. It's not that big of a deal. We are getting some longtime loyal Missin Curfew fans are not thrilled with cutting back of the swear words.
Really?
So now it's a fine line of like, we don't want to put too much on
Double-edged sword.
Max,
Yeah.
but we don't want to lose the authenticity of
I
Missin
think we can
Curfew.
keep it real.
Yeah.
Just say fuck every now and then.
Yeah, just as long as they know exactly where we say it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, we're not just going to throw it out there for no reason. We're just going to use it appropriately.
Yeah.
We're up to 10 already, and it's been 3.5 minutes.
Yeah,
I know. We'll keep it. We'll keep it sharp now.
It's better for us to the fellas out there that are. I hear what you're saying, boys, but I think like anything for our growth,
Yeah.
right? Like we're always going to swear, right? We're not going to swear unless we get Pat McAfee's deal, but like we got to tighten it up a bit, right? Even like
I think so.
I think a little bit's not bad, boys. So adapt or die. The fellas out there that I hear what you're saying, but we're going to just try to, we're trying to tighten up.
Yeah. Okay.
We're always
Never
going to
heard
swear.
that-
We're always
that
going to swear.
term before,
Adapt or
adapt.
die, buddy.
Yeah. All right.
Adapt or die. Speaking of swear words, we got the franchise Shane Taylor back there for his second stint here at Hall Pass Media. Franchise, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, fellas.
Oh, he's here.
There he
We're
is.
working on the ones and twos in here with Maxie. They got me rolling here. No free rides here at Missin Curfew, that's for sure.
No. Pick up a shovel and start digging here, buddy.
Do you got a lip boomer in there? Do you got a lip boomer back there?
We got everything back
I'll
here.
tell you what,
Don't worry.
he's baked back there.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That is for sure.
Tell the story on the SoFi. Let's get into the weekend.
Yeah,
How was your
yeah,
weekend,
so-
bud? Franchise? You got franchise
I
in
got
town?
the
Little Friday
franchise
golf?
Shane Taylor. This is now a yearly trip for him. He comes out right around Thanksgiving and we play some golf. We're going to play today. We're going to play the next 3 days if the weather holds for us. And he works at the mill. He's a superintendent, so this is his off season. So he comes out here. and right to the weed store right away. Right,
Yep.
get them all dialed in there. I said, if you think you got enough, grab an extra one there, buddy. I see the pace of play you're at here, but yeah. So we went up to SoFi, and I got these weed gummies. I'm starting to, I like the weed gummies now. I got these 2 milligram. They're called Social. They're awesome. I feel like great on them when I go out. Right, don't drink as much. Well, that's a lie, but I just feel good on them. Right, so I say franchise. I bought these other 10 milligram ones, buddy. Maybe we haven't had breakfast. We haven't had anything. Sunday morning, 2 right down the hatch before even
a coffee.
He doesn't drink coffee, but yeah, 2 right down the hatch, franchise?
Well, I know why. You're doing 10 milligrams. You don't need coffee.
Yeah, a couple of jubes and a glass of water. You're good to go. That's how it is, boys.
A couple wine gums.
So at the Bay Club, there is technically a no smoking rule, right? Like I've talked to you about, not being able to smoke cigars, no cigarettes, and you like to think probably, in the good state of California here, the one good thing we got is weed's legal. So technically, well, I'll tell you what, I'll come back after, swim or going out, and I come in and it just reeks like pot from the big franchise smoking the pipe out on the patio. I mean, it just made me realize, like, remember smoking weed on the road and you have to put the towel underneath and like
go in the bathroom.
Why does it stink
Smoke it
so
up
much?
into the, into the vent.
Put the shower on.
Yeah, I mean, that brings me back to when I was a kid.
Jamaican hot box, boys.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
No, but hey, remember how paranoid you get too? It's just the thought, like, is it worth getting that stoned to be that paranoid that you're going to get caught?
Listen,
Like when you think about it.
it's a great question.
The
And
answer is
listen,
yes.
The answer is yes.
The
100%.
answer is yes.
Especially my 3rd year in the jungle in Portland. All we did was take the bus.
Yeah.
So, you played in Milwaukee. You fly to a lot of places, right?
Yeah.
Portland, you just ride the lung. The one good thing about the Iron Lung, you can bring a little, you can bring some weed on the trip with you. So PA Toronto, most paranoid guy ever. We would stay in these shitty hotels, and he'd be like, "Oh, I can hear someone come." I'm like, just relax, all right? Just watch the movie. There's nobody coming. But some guys did get a little paranoid. I don't know. I wasn't too concerned about it at that time.
I remember one time we were in the minors. We might have played Cincy. So Milwaukee to Cincy.
Yeah. 6
Before
hours.
that trip, I was a guy that lived next to me, Steve Daly, used to bring over bottles of wine, and I have nice cigars, and we anyway, cook steaks, good guy. So one night we made like this weed butter. Okay, but we made brownies with it, or cookies or whatever.
Yeah.
So, what you don't know is like how potables these are going to be, because you just don't know how much is melting in there or whatever. And for anyone who's ever cooked themselves, a lot of butter's good. Well, when you do a lot of weed butter, it's really, really good, I guess. So after we play you guys, we cross the parking lot. There's a gas station by the rink, I think.
Yeah, right in the hood.
We pulled over right in the hood, go in, get a bunch of ice cream, right? And then I come on and I undo the Tupperware bottle, the Tupperware container, to give everyone like a little slice, whoever wanted one, with a scoop of ice cream, like nice dessert, to finish the road and start the 6-hour drive back home.
Yeah.
And when I opened up this, it just stunk, the whole bus. I'm like, oh God.
What's up?
I'm like, oh man. So now we're like paranoid or whatever. I'm like,
Well, now the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, it's out of the
Literally, it's
bag.
out of the bag. It's literally out of the bag. But does the coach look back? Or
yeah, I think so. It was, at the time, I won't even mention names beyond
Yeah, no
that,
need.
but it was like, well, what can you do? Just have a couple bites, and it's normal now. It's better than doing pain pills or
getting drunk on the bus, really.
getting banged up, and you gotta, But I remember, just sizzling myself on this. God,
Coach is like, Susie smells. He's like, that's up shelf for sure.
Yeah.
That's up shelf.
Shoot. Shoot.
Well, at least you're trying to be a good guy, give them out to the boys. Eh?
Yeah,
Because
I like
I
a
made
nice-
that bus trip too many times in 2 years. It's long, 6 hours after a
6
game.
hours. I mean, come on.
I would have had some of your weed butter, buddy.
Yeah.
I would have said, put that right on my slice of pizza.
Well,
is
no,
what
I
would've
actually
said.
made the brownies.
But why ice cream?
I made
would've-
the brownies. So I had
Oh.
the brownies. You had to have the ice cream.
Oh, you had the brown.
So I
Gotcha.
I bought these little squares, these brownie squares, and I was handing out the brownies
Yeah.
with the ice cream.
You're like, heads up for that.
That's
Not just your typical brownie your mom used to make for you there, but that one there, I'll get you thinking about the finer
That's
things.
a nice touch.
It's good to have the franchise here. Chime in whenever you want. Well, what'd you think of the greens at Big Canyon the other day? A little quicker than the mill back home, or what?
Yeah, they're a little quick there, especially after I got enhanced on number 8 there. I couldn't quite get off the tee for holes 10, 11, and 12,
Yeah.
but the greens, they bit me. They sure did.
He's the only guy, like, right on number 8 tee or number 9 tee, sparks up this doobie, and like, right in front of the clubhouse. He's driving the cart up there and just puffing it. There's people having their lunch out on the patio. I'm like, fella, just wait till we get on the back nine before you smoke the whole doobie in front of the clubhouse. Right? Like, he puts it out in the cart. Right? Puts it out in the cart, throws it back in there. Like, I'm like, look at this guy. Like, just can't take the Cobra down
anywhere.
Can't take him anywhere. But franchise, love having you here, buddy. Updog, NFL football. How'd you make out in fantasy, my man?
I took down our boy Shaddy. It was the toilet bowl.
Yeah, it was the toilet
But
bowl.
I'm still in it now. I told you.
I told you.
No, I said like
Max.
What?
Max, he said he was done last
I had
week.
a 33% chance of making it last week. Okay. Now I got to win. And I guess I can tell you right now what my chances are to make.
How do you find all this stuff out?
I got an app. I pay subscription.
To find out if you're going to make fantasy league
Just
football?
it breaks down our fantasy football. Yeah.
I mean, if you're trying to cut costs, I'd say maybe get rid of that app.
So right here.
That's not a cost you don't need.
League Analyzer. Projected standings.
As long as that app's not setting your lineup for you, it's not worth it.
Right? Yeah.
No, what? Setting my lineup? No. I'm
need something to set your
I'm the
lineup.
mastermind behind that.
When you remember.
Yeah. When he knows who's on his team.
Okay, so no, but anyway, so F Machine Hut took on Kappa Tootskis and
Kapatootskis.
and we took him down. Chinatown.
Yeah. I took down the bumper trumpers. It was a battle between our backups. I picked up Kyler Murray and Kyler brought it for me. Listen, however this plays out, I'm probably not going to win this thing, but I beat Flowers both times I played him. I beat him week 1 and I beat him that week in the battle of our backups. So I guess what I'm saying, Uppy, is at least I got that on Larry Bettman, right?
Yeah,
I can just at least say I beat him
even
2
though he had
times we played
6
him.
guys on bye week, didn't matter.
I had 3 guys on bye week.
I got a 44% chance of making it now. Projected to go 6-8.
That's going to get you in?
No,
6 and 8?
no, that's why if
Oh,
I'm
33.
projected to go 6-8, it's only a 44% chance. But if I can go 7 and 7,
You're in.
then I'm right there, tied for 6, and it's going to a playoff.
Oh.
A play-in, as they say. Which are your post Mahomes?
Yeah.
Okay, right now you're supposed to go 8-6. You got an 87% chance of making the playoffs for. Is it the first time now in the history of the Players League?
This is our 3rd year playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've missed the playoffs the first 2 years. Yeah.
Flowers already secured a playoff spot.
Listen, I haven't even made a trade. Well, I made one trade with you, and we all know how that happened here with the Missin Curfew family. It shook the airwaves of Missin Curfew and the whole league. But I haven't made a trade. I think my other years, and it was probably my fault and Cody's fault, I made so many trades early on that I didn't let my team develop. I was just horny to make a trade, Max. Just like, I'm trading anyone. I like my team. Debo back. Got Pittman on a bye this week, but I like my team. I need Patty Mahomes to get going for me. Like, get going.
You know what I did realize? So we use the Yahoo Sports app for our fantasy. We'll call it whatever. So when you go to the league, there's a way to see who's up next in view details. Who gets the waiver? Do you know that, Max?
Yeah, it's based on who made the last claim. Like you resets each week.
Ooh. By the way, so I'm number 4. When does the waiver wire happen? Wednesday morning?
Wednesday morning.
Okay. So I'm number 4
So
up.
if you make a move now, say, you go for, say Dobbs is a free agent, you go for Dobbs, but anybody that's 1, 2, or 3, they go for him too. They would get him before you.
1, 2, or 3 gets him.
If they go for him. Yeah.
Shit.
Who's your quarterback?
Josh Allen.
Perfect, because we're going to get right into the bets now. And first of all, I wanted to give some love to the franchise, our buddy Donks back home. We're heading up to the game. Chargers, Lions. I didn't care who won. I said, text Donks, we're going to the game. Donks said, lots of points, take the over. So I said, boom, take the over. And it hit, and I needed a win. You know when you just need a win? Like I had the worst week of my life since the start. I knew it was coming. And this is what I was doing so well that I'm like, it's coming. I know it's coming. And the Oilers, they did it to me, losing that game to the Sharks, minus 340. And then I just took the Avs lost that night, minus 233 to your Kraken. So Donks, thank you. The over hit. And it's fun betting on the over, man, especially when you got 2 bad defenses. They were just running the ball down their throat, slinging it. So thanks to Donks. I wanted to give him some love. Good Coburg boy. How'd you make out this week? I had the Bills.
Bloodbath. Absolute bloodbath.
Yeah.
I took the Packers
I had the Steelers.
every which way. So
Why'd you like the
that was
Pack?
a loss. I don't know. It was
You thought.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought Love might just, snap
Sling it.
out of it.
Yeah.
And I've been sold on Pittsburgh the whole year, but
Good D.
And they hung around.
That's how they play. They've
What
been
else-
the
what
most.
else
They've been
happened?
the one score games the most in the NFL. They've won. The next is the Chiefs and Eagles, I think, and the Steelers have more one possession wins than them. So they just hang in there.
Cincy screwed me.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this. They screwed me too.
Cincy, Baltimore both screwed me. I had them in a teaser, and I bought points, and just it wasn't perfect.
Huge win for the Browns to come
Yeah.
back and win like that against the Ravens. After I said the Ravens were going to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I told Cincy. I bet Cincy going to go to the
I'll
Super
tell you what, man. This CJ Stroud,
Yeah.
this guy's nasty. Man. Like
Mhm.
they're talking like MVP. Like that's how important he is to his team.
Mackel right now has CJ Stroud. He has quarterback from Balti,
Lamar Jackson.
and he's got Dobbs, the quarterback from Minnesota.
How many quarterbacks?
He's got
does
three
he-
quarterbacks.
How much does he need?
I don't know, but I got to get one of them off him. Mac Daddy for listening.
I'm back, Daddy.
But, I mean, yeah. That's
Let's talk about the Bills, man. I talk about windows in hockey. Have they? You know, we got Stephon Diggs' brother, Trayvon Diggs on X today saying you got to get 14 out of there. I don't know, man. It seems like this team's missed
got
their
to
window.
get 14 what?
Like Stephon Diggs out of Buffalo. Like his brother was on X posting.
Oh, wow.
It's time to get him out of there.
Like he needs a different team.
Yeah, like I think this team might have missed their chance, man. As long as you got Josh Allen, I think you can obviously rebuild around him.
I don't know,
But he
man. I
doesn't
bet
even
you.
look
I
great.
love Josh Allen, and
Yeah,
that's
me
probably
too.
why I'm saying this sort of stuff. But he needs to stop throwing the ball like everywhere, just recklessly. He needs to like run the ball. Why isn't he effective stepping back and running and hitting guys again? I don't know. Just he doesn't. I feel like he starts games off slow now because he's not effective with his legs. Max, what do you think?
I mean, they didn't protect the football very well last night.
No,
That
I know,
was-
but
Like
like,
they were holding it like a loaf of bread out there.
but what if he ran a couple early and then it opens up his passing?
Aikman said last night in the telecast he threw Allen tried to make a pass in a triple coverage that didn't get picked off, and he's like, he can make that throw, so it's hard to tell him
Maybe he's just not that
yeah,
smart.
tell him not to do it because he can. Like Aikman's like, I've seen him make that throw, but to throw in a triple coverage, any other quarterback that would have been picked. He's lucky it wasn't, but because he zipped it in there, I guess it's got to be bittersweet for the coach, or maybe that's not the right terminology, but like he knows Allen can make those big plays, but at the same time, we can't be turning it over 4 times. The record in the NFL, if you turn it over 4 times, I heard Scott Van Pelt, 0-46 or something.
Yeah.
You just don't win.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, but I just feel bad for those Bills fans because the franchise was talking about, he's been to that stadium, like such great fans. They're 5-5. They're in one. You talk about percentages to make the playoffs. They're just
They're
low.
in one.
They're in one.
They're 5-6, aren't they?
5-5.
Oh wow.
The Broncos, man. Listen, shout out to Sean Payton, who's a buddy of Coop, who I had a couple cocktails with last year in Smashville. Controlled the clock, ran the football. Russell Wilson's kind of learning how to play. They're like, I don't know, man. It was kind of boring to watch because it's just old school football, grind them down. But the possession they had the ball almost doubled in the Bills. Like that's how you win a road game.
I know. They played good. And
They played good.
that pass interference, I don't know about. Last play of the game, what do you think?
It's a terrible pass.
It was a terrible pass.
Yeah.
How about
Like, is it you? And they talked about this after SVP had on this guy who I loved. I actually don't know who
Ryan Clark? Ryan Clark?
the guy
Like
that
turtleneck
sat
with chains
the
on?
guy that sat next to him.
Yeah,
It was
Ryan
just
Clark.
them two.
Yeah.
Okay,
That guy's a beauty. He talks UFC with Daniel Cormier too.
okay. So
Good
he
dude.
got into this
Won
whole
a Super
thing
Bowl
like
with the Steelers.
determining a last play of the game like that. You need to make a great play. Like, the quarterback needs to make a great play. If they're going to call pass interference, you can't just tossing it up like that. It needs to be you're taking away the touchdown. Like, and the guy turns his head.
Yeah, I was
like
just
the
gonna
kid
say,
turns his head at the end. Like if the pass was where it was supposed to go, he would have
It would have been a touchdown.
No, but he would have turned his head and probably got his hand on it.
Right.
Instead, it was a
Right.
underthrown ball that the receiver has to stop.
No, the DB was just in an impossible position because the ball was so poorly thrown.
I
Yeah,
will
but
say this
before
about
it got
the NFL.
there, his head was turning.
Right.
So that's
he did what he was
defense.
supposed to do.
Any underthrown ball, they call PI every time, which I don't think should be the case. Anytime it's underthrown and the DB's got to turn around, they touch him, they throw the flag.
Shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
It should be over. It's got to be over your head, and you got to be getting interfered with, like trying to grab it, like on this side.
I think it's something they need to look at too.
Instead of stopping and jumping back into the D.
Because the receiver knows. The receiver knows. As soon as it's underthrown, he just bumps into the fucking DB. It's going to be PI every time. I'm with you.
That's
that
a
should happen
joke.
all year. Talk about a joke. How are you this guy if you were the 12th guy in the field for the field goal?
God.
Like,
You know who the 12th guy was?
who?
Hamlin.
Oh, well, we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't.
That's everyone's saying. It's like,
Oh, man.
Why was he out? Oh, did he thought?
I don't know what happened, but dude, that cost him. Like,
someone had gotten hurt that series on defense, and so he had to go out there at the end of the game. And then he stayed out there.
But that
for the
makes
field
sense
goal.
because that was his first defensive. He was playing special teams the whole time. Well, I heard he was playing special teams, but last night when he jumped in was his first reps in the defensive like coverage like that. But
Right.
But I don't know. Was he on the field goal blocking team? Who knows?
they said they went from like the diamond package. They said Sean, what's their coach's name? McDermott? He said they practice that every week, going from like the diamond of where you're in one to get the fuck off the field and get back on. And he said, we just screwed it up.
And when you get, it's a mix of special teams and defense,
Yeah.
and you get guys injured and you're subbing in and out. Like,
There's so many guys, right? Like you think you should be on there. You don't want to not be on the field. So you run out, right? It's like too many men, right? Yeah, get out there. Then you're out there. You're like, oh my God, what am I doing out here?
Like, how do the refs catch it?
The refs,
He's
they
standing in
count.
the back.
They
Yeah,
count,
they
yeah.
count.
They count?
They count.
Oh,
As
yeah.
yeah, there's 6 refs out there.
I
whatever.
know, but like that's a lot of, you got to count all those guys. It's
I think they can
They
hail
do it every
that,
single
kid.
play.
Yeah.
So
They
they've
do,
got it
right?
in their mind. They can
Same as the
recognize.
refs, buddy. They count. I know there's more guys, but same as counting 5 guys. I guess there's double.
Yeah, no, it's just pretty impressive that they're able at that speed with all the shit going on that they go
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, it's too many guys. And like,
Both those refs back
Well,
there.
and
do
there's
the
people
flag.
up top probably counting, going into the ref's earpiece, right? Saying, I don't know. I don't know how that works, but basically it's your fault because you're cooler and you cost the Bills because you had cash on it,
yeah,
right?
it's a joke. My second half Bills,
Hey, at least you won
minus 7.
fantasy.
What?
At least you won fantasy.
Yeah,
At least you won fantasy.
means nothing.
I love how you took the over in the second half, though. I just
No,
full throttle.
Not
take the
over. No, I took
Bills.
Bills. Not did the over. The over, it went under big time. It was only 17 points.
Things are heating up in fantasy football. The NFL's getting good here. We got a big game next week, Chiefs and Eagles. I'm going to tune into that one. So, hey, one thing, Coach Prime, this guy obviously has lost a little bit of his luster since his 3-0 start, but he was talking about practice fights, how much he loves them, and not only loves them, how he keeps track of who wins and loses them. So, Coach Prime, buddy, I love you even more. And I think, we're going to get into the Oilers here next. There should have been a practice fight in Edmonton about a month ago, but I love practice fights ups. And I'm saying try to kill your teammate. Don't hit him when he's down, but sometimes when things aren't going well, nothing wrong
The
with
Robert Bertuzzo effect.
Robert Bertuzzo effect.
It works.
It does work.
Was there a coach that you had comes to mind that like
Well,
you knew loved like a good fight in practice?
I don't know. Let me think about it.
In junior, Dean Evison used to love it.
He looks like a guy.
Yeah, he loved it.
What about old Dean Evison? How are they all wild?
They're not having a great start. They're not having a great start. They were 5-5 last week.
You know what? I was thinking about them. They got spanked by Dallas the other night.
Ooh.
They're 5-8 right now. I don't know about. I like Dean Evison.
John Stevens used to like a good.
Yeah,
He's old school.
old school.
Played the game the right way in the minors.
Yeah. I don't know if I John Tortorella.
Kevin didn't even try to fight
I
me
mean,
in
that
practice.
was John Tortorella. Torch would love it. Love it. And I'm going to get into Torch later in the show. But Coach Prime, I love it. Practice fights, nothing wrong with that, fellas out there. Updog, I just want to touch on it. It was Remembrance Day this past Saturday back home in Canada. First thing I always think of is Don Sherry. How much he wanted to wear the poppies, how, he was always wearing his poppies on Hockey Night in Canada. My dad always wore his poppy, told me to wear his poppy. So I just want to say thanks to everyone that served back home in Canada. And what's going on in the world right now here, it's crazy times. And people that are serving in the States, we got our green cards. I want to thank them. What was it here? It's called Veterans Day here.
Yeah.
So just thank you for your service. And back home, people who wore your poppy, good on you, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, well said. A lot of people that we, grew up with, our grandparents, they went to war. They lost sons and daughters, and A lot of people sacrifice their time and their lives for what we have here today. So this day is just one simple way that we can all pay our respects. So well said.
Well said, my man. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Updog, my man. Good Fort Mac guy. Mr. PTO. You looked good with that Oilers jersey with that picture. Look good.
It's heartbreaking. I can't think about it.
If you wouldn't have hurt your knee dancing on that yacht in Europe, you might.
Yeah, I know. No, listen, man, it's heartbreaking. I've been an Oiler fan my whole life. First time I ever, stepped foot in an NHL rink was to, watch Bill Ranford and Gretzky and Messier and Curry and all these guys play. And it would have been a dream come true. And now I'm stuck on the fence of just watching them and cheering them on from a distance and having a podcast and a platform to talk about them. And I was using just that over the weekend.
Yeah, so obviously everyone knows the news. Jay Woodcroft and Dave Manson, who I love Dave Manson. I love the way he played. I love his son's game, Josh Manson. I would love to have played for Dave Manson. I thought after that Oilers game against the Sharks that, if I was the GM, which I'm not, and I don't need to tell Kenny Holland how to do his job, but I would have probably fired him right then. They let him finish off the road trip. They had a big win in Seattle, then fired him. With Jay Woodcroft, I don't know him. You hear what Connor said about him and how he loved him and was shocked that all this happened, and we can get in that as well, Updog. I just seen, and maybe it happens with everyone, right? You get in the NHL and, you start doing interviews and, he just seemed to get more and more like, I said a year ago, his hair got a little more slicked back and he got a little more, I don't know, I'm the man, right? I'm the man. When he first came in there after they bought him from Bakersfield, humble.
Yeah.
And I just thought like he kind of got, I don't know, comfortable maybe, or thought like, he was the guy. When at the end of the day, when you have 97 and 29 and you're not making adjustments to make them better, you can't get rid of the whole team. I'm sure there's guys like Kenny Holland would love to trade, right? If he could trade half his team right now, I'm sure he would. It comes down to the coaches. It's the business we live in. I wish Jay Woodcroft all the best, but I think it was the right call. I would have brought in, Paul Coffey, who's a guy that, they brought in to run the D, who I know you love. I just wanted to bring in an ex-Oiler. I guess they did that with him. But what were your thoughts on Woodcroft and Manson?
Yeah, well, this, it should be said right off the hop, this is McDavid's now his fifth coach since 2015.
5 and 8 years.
Todd McClellan, Hitchcock, Dave Tippett, Woodcroft. Now, one from the outside looking in would think, do they need a hard ass? Do they need like a Brent Sutter? Do they need, a Daryl Sutter? Do they need one of the Sutter brothers who are, whatever? They've had Hitch, so they know one end of the spectrum of having like a guy's guy or a player's guy or a guy that's coming up from the minors that has something to prove. Now, I look at the Jay Woodcroft thing, and yes, he came in very humble. I like the guy. But you deal with Edmonton media for 2 years. You deal with these playoff runs where, the whole world stops to watch just you. And all of a sudden you become, we have had disappointing finishes. We can't get by Vegas. We can't get by Colorado. What needs to change? And unfortunately, you can't change much because you have no cap room. You have no chance of changing arsenal that, makes your team better. You have to deal with the cards that are dealt. Now, I don't know. I don't think Kenny Holland is, sitting back making the calls on this Obi much. I don't know. I think, the new CEO, Jeff Jackson, I think, even we watched that press conference over the weekend. Kenny Holland looked for once he didn't sleep. He looked like he was was in one. I'd never seen Kenny Holland look like that actually.
Yeah, who looked worse, him or me leaving Lupul's golf tournament at Edmonton? But yeah, Kenny looks weathered.
But think of it like just this, I don't know. Dog days, we're not even here yet. We talk about that.
Yeah. They're there.
If this is in February and you're dealing with this, but this is in November. No one wanted to ever talk about the Oilers being 15 points back of, the Vancouver Canucks or whatever. I think Jeff Jackson, and history being his, ties to Connor McDavid, wanting to keep Connor in Edmonton, wanting to make this team still beat around Connor McDavid, he probably had a lot to say. He probably had a lot to say, whether he had conversations with Connor, Leon, the leaders about, the direction this team needs to go in order to save the season. Those conversations had to have been had.
100%.
There's no way you don't go to your 2-3 best players and say like, guys, if we don't win the next 10, if we don't go on a nice streak here, we're done.
Yeah, it looked
and then
like
I got to blow this thing up.
Yeah,
so what do we need?
It looked like two guys that went on a trip together that were trying to get their story straight, what to tell their wives. They were like, "Hey, Kenny, remember we said we didn't go to Hooters for chicken wings, but get it together."
Totally.
Like Kenny said,
don't blow this for me.
Yeah, Kenny said one thing, and then Jeff Jackson, who, I should have known this. I have a podcast with you, but like didn't know that he was Connor's old agent that now works for the team. But listen, bottom line is, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl have to be on these conversations.
Yeah,
right.
This is their team.
They're two best players in the world. Any team, Jack Eichel in Vegas, Stone in Vegas, got to be on these. If I was a GM, I would have my star players. I'd have a lot of my players coming in and asking them what they think. So for Jeff Jackson to try to say Connor doesn't care, I think he's trying to protect his old client and protect Connor. That like, right? He's just here to play hockey. All those cliches, which Connor just wants to focus on hockey. But when you're picked to win the Stanley Cup and you are second last in the Western Conference, it had to be changed. I think Connor was in on it. And listen, I love Kenny Holland. I respect everything he did as a Detroit Red Wing and all the Stanley Cups he have as a guy sitting here with no rings. But at the end of the day, it's on Kenny a bit too. Listen, he tried with Jack Campbell. That didn't work out. And I think that right there is the biggest thing that's hurt them, right? And I like Jack Campbell, but they thought they had their goalie. They thought he'd come in and give him 5 for 25. And they, we all know what's happened to Jack. He's down in the jungle now. And Stuart Skinner caught lightning in the bottle last year, but you saw in playoffs he wasn't the guy. And then you got Darnell Nurse. Listen, guy plays hard, chucks him. I like that about him. He's making too much money. But once again, you brought up the salary cap, and we talk about a luxury tax here on Missin Curfew all the time. You don't think Kenny Holland would like to shake the deck a little bit right now, but just can't because he's handcuffed because of the stupid hard cap? Like, he can't make a trade. The worst team in the league right now with the highest expectations can't make a move. Now, maybe nobody wants some of these guys on his team. I believe, but I just feel bad that he can't make a hockey move right now because I believe he's so up against the cap, so many bad contracts that he's just in one.
I think that the NHL and NHLPA should sit down in the next Board of Governors meeting and discuss how to give these teams these like Joker cards or like Spumoni cards.
Spumoni.
Where they have one chance every year. They have one chance to go, this guy's making too much money. Yeah. I signed him to a bad deal. I need to cut this.
Help.
This is my Spumoni card. Help me. I want, go back to jail card, get out of jail free. And then you still pay the guy his money. The NHL are going to protect the players from that. But there's got to be a way you pay the luxury tax back into the league and it comes off your cap. You could use it once every couple of years. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or you give up a draft pick. Like, do you think they would just go, I'll give up a second round pick right now if we can turn Nurse's $9 million cap into $5 million?
They might give
we'll hand a draft pick back.
They might give more than that.
Well, you know what I mean? But find a way to not handcuff all these teams into not being able to make deals or I don't care about not making deals. All I care about is having the two best players in the world stuck in Edmonton with these bad contracts surrounding their team and them not getting better. That to me is heartbreaking. It sucks.
Well, you might not have to worry about that here much longer.
I know, but I do because it's 2 more years of Connor there. It's another year.
Well, Leon's got 1 more year left after this. So if things,
it just sucks. I wanted to work out there.
Yeah, no,
but they're handcuffed.
Let's say they miss the playoffs this year, which I don't know if they're going to make it or not. I need to see them play under Chris Knobloch, who I thought when I first saw it reminded me of Chuck Knobloch, the old second baseman, that couldn't make the throw from second to first. Old Chucky, you're DH tonight. But listen, you can't. They're in their prime of their careers. And I love Edmonton Oilers fans. We wouldn't have this podcast without Oilers fans. We go up there. They're great to us. I love the new rink. I love everything about the Edmonton Oilers fan base. But at the end of the day, these guys, come on. We can't continue going down this road, right? And after this year, Leon will have 1 year left. We'll see what happens. But it's
like so.
I don't know, man.
When you say it kind of falls on Kenny Holland, it does. But you look at Bouchard.
Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell, yes.
Yeah, it hurts.
Bouchard, you turn him into this number 1 D. He's got a great shot. He's a world-class shot. He's playing on the best power play ever invented. He hasn't gotten any better. He hasn't shown the next step. So who does that fall on? Does that fall on the coach? Does that fall on his teammates? Does that fall on him?
I mean, you could put that on Manson, right? He's a D coach. He's trying to make him better. I know for me, a guy by the name of Bradshaw, I hadn't Cincinnati.
Bradshaw. He turned me into a PKer.
Yeah, Shawzy made me so much better defensively.
Me too.
Like, people probably find this hard to believe, but when I came out of the OHL, I was the offensive guy that, jumped in the play. And he's like, fella, taught me how to play. You can learn how to play defense. So I don't know if I can put on Dave Manson or I put on Bouchard's, give a fuck level. Like there's no secret to playing defense or becoming a PK guy. Do the right things, pay attention to details, pay the price.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like,
listen, to me, I still
Kulak, CC, these guys, they haven't gotten any better. They're D are terrible. Ekholm, I love that. Ekholm played so hard against me my whole career. He was such a force, but he hasn't been able to find his niche there really either.
Well,
right?
neither would you if you're playing with Bouchard the whole time.
Totally. But I'm just saying, their D stink.
Yeah, I mean, I would get Bouchard away from Ekholm. I mean, I would go Ekholm or CC.
Yeah.
Desharnais's not the guy, which I thought he was. He's not quite ready. His boots aren't quick enough. But speaking of Chris Knobloch here, the new head coach that came in from Hartford, Coach Connor. So last night they played good. They played with some better pace last night,
as expected.
And I'm sure that was just once Jay got fired, they're like, okay, at least that's over. At least we don't have to worry about if we're gonna get this guy fired. He's gone, right? You take a deep breath, almost like, okay, it's a new day. Knobloch went with McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and your boy Sam Gagner, Kane, Draisaitl, Hyman. I thought that was a pretty good mix of the top two lines there. I think having Nugent Hopkins play the wing, and then Gagner's a nice fit up there right now. And I thought Kane looked good with Draisaitl last night. But I'm with you, Koff. I love Paul Coffey. I'm glad he's in on going to be running the D. But it's starting. I think it's time you got to start mixing, matching some of those guys back there and just changing something up.
Yeah, well said.
Time will tell.
By the way, Paul Coffey. Legendary player, unbelievable. But if you thought he was a good hockey player, he is even better as a guy. I know he's going to do great with that young, with the young group of guys they have. You can go to him for anything. So I think that's a great move. Kenny Holland did the right thing there, just saying, Paul, go in there, help this room, mentor this room, get them off the ledge.
Yeah,
and let's go.
I actually, first of all, Koff had an unbelievable suit on first night. Nice little blue with a nice little good orange colored tie and a white shirt. So Koff, you looked unbelievable back there. Nice tan somehow living in Edmonton. I actually said to Cooley and the boys on the NHL XM radio when I found out Woodcroft was fired, I said they should hire Paul Coffey as the interim head coach. I thought I wouldn't have been in a hurry to bring in. Now you got another, and I don't know Chris Knobloch from, whoever, from Jay Woodcroft before they hired him. So maybe this is the guy, but. And you question maybe the X's and O's of Paul Coffey, but you can bring somebody, you can hire guys around him to help with that. But I would have just brought in, and he's working the D, so he's in the room. They did what I want, but to have an ex-Oiler in there that won the championships, that bled the orange and blue, that played with Gretz and Mess. I would have called Gretzky and been like, I know you got a cushy deal at TNT there, but I'll take you for the rest of the year. Yeah. And Gretz probably would have said, no, thank you. I'm going to play the Grove and do my TNT hit, and I don't blame you, Gretz. But just bringing some old Oilers in there. Old Oilers.
Listen, I like where your head's at. And look at what Montreal did with Martin St. Louis. I love that.
Yeah.
He's not that far from the game. Yeah. Does Stoley want a fucking job?
Stoley, babe. Stoley's not moving.
Do you want a job? I know you got to go up to Edmonton again, but he's been involved around teams. He's seen the LA Kings get out of the funk and be a championship team. He's been on championship teams. He played for the Oilers, went to a Stanley Cup final. Stoley,
I thought about guys like Ethan Morrow. Where's he?
Yeah.
Jason Smith.
Totally.
Bring those guys in and just build that culture back around these guys.
I know. It was such a great
listen,
culture.
X's and O's are important, ups. But listen, we get the game film every fucking night. You come in, they're doing the 2-1-2-4 check. Got it. This is what they do for their PIP breakout. Got it. Now, in-game adjustments on the bench is something that I think takes time to learn. But when you have the two best players in the planet, I don't know. And I know you are too, a big believer in dressing room and having good guys
totally.
around.
I was just going to say, let's just worry about what we're going to do off the ice to get these guys together again.
Right?
To get the noise away and just get them having fun and doing their thing and showing up to the rink and having a smile on their face and being in the NHL, making big money. Totally.
And now almost, if I was in there, and maybe Koff is saying this, you know better than me.
Oh, he is.
The pressure's almost off.
Yeah,
now it's boys, no one expects you to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now we got nothing to lose almost. Let's go. Let's rally. Right? I maybe not, everyone's not expecting to make the playoffs. The fans in Edmonton are. But you know what I mean? Ups?
Totally.
The pressure of them being Stanley Cup contenders, nobody believes you're going to win the Stanley Cup right now.
No.
Not one guy.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
But
in that dressing room, maybe they do.
I still picked him on your show, Power Play. 2 weeks ago, I still had him.
Yeah.
But then I was like, then they cost me so much money. I said, this is done.
Yeah. Me too, buddy. I said to you, Uppy, we got to take him again. And then I took him in Nashville. That was their first home win last night.
That's insane.
Last year, when you went into Rexall, what's it called? Rogers Arena, it was a loss.
Yeah. Point night for them.
But if you want to talk about gambling, if they get hot here, and I'm going to be watching their every game, and last night was a step in the right direction, but if they get going, full throttle. We start hammering the oil. Hammer the oil.
I would love to be part of a world where I could start hammering the oil again and winning. That would be great.
Yeah.
It would be great for TV.
Yeah. And I don't know Connor, and listen, I'm not living in Edmonton, but he's making, what is he making? 12? What's he making?
12 and a half.
12 and a half. I know he hasn't won a cup. I know all the other guys have, and I don't know him like you know him, but smile, Connor. I know it's hard right now, but like even his interview, like I get that he's not the world's, best talker who wants to talk, and I don't know what he is off camera, but when I see him on camera, I'd like to see him just try to bring a little more, I guess winning will do that, but I don't know. I guess that might be too much to ask. What do you think about that?
No, totally. You're right. You don't want to tell these guys to change who they are, and he takes this to heart. You know that, but at the same time, like you are the face of this organization.
Yeah, you're the best player on the planet.
Do you want to be a face that's smiling, or do you want to be a face that's like,
I'm think upset. About the kid who grew up in Ontario. Totally. I think he's a Toronto boy. You're
think about all the young kids watching you. Like, we're all upset. The old crusty guys like us, we're upset because we're losing money. But the young kids who watch you on TV
smile.
And who listen to you talk, smile. Yeah, I agree. But I'm not saying Connor changed the way
and you know him. I don't know him. I've never met him. But and you're about to listen. You're going to win one, Connor. You're too good a player not to win one. I know you want to win one now, and you want to win one for the city of Edmonton. I respect that. But you're also going to become the highest paid player here in 3 years too. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's, I don't know. Life's not that bad, is what I'm saying.
No,
losing sucks, but I hope they turn it around. To the Oilers fans out there, we love your support at Missin Curfew, and when they do turn it around, up dog, we hammer them. Speaking of hammer them, Uppy's World, party time. Excellent. First of all, I've known you a long time. Tell our listeners your first NFL experience, bro. First NFL game you went to.
Yeah.
This is a legendary game. Me and the franchise, we used to watch in Man in the Arena. They were talking about this game you went to.
It's funny. I brought up a guy in Milwaukee, Steve Daly. This is funny. It's the second time I mentioned him today. What's up, Steve? Anyway, he was a big Packer guy, had season tickets. We used to go to the Milwaukee Bucks with him, me and Toots. He lived on our floor we lived on North Prospect Ave, sick little condo we had.
A couple prospects living on Prospect Ave, eh?
And,
a couple prospects.
And so anyway, it was playoff time. I'd never been to an NFL game ever.
I didn't even know what the NFL was.
Totally. So I'm 19 or 20.
I was an Argos fan.
And we cruise up. It is Obi. It's, December, playoff time. And we cruise up. It's about an hour drive from Milwaukee. We get there. It's freezing. I'm in just a jacket, jeans, and I'm literally freezing my nuts off. And
you don't have the Canada Goose on.
And Packers, shout out to Fromy. He's the biggest Packer fan of all time. There's like bleachers. It's like steel bleachers in there.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
Like Lambeau is steel bleachers and wind and snow. And so anyway, they play the Vikings. And it is the game, if anyone listening remembers, Brett Favre versus, the whole Minnesota Viking team. That was basically the game. And Randy Moss catches in front of us the touchdown, the worldwide touchdown known where he moons the whole crowd at Lambeau. And it's an epic, like if you look up that photo, it's a great photo.
It's unbelievable.
It's unreal. So I was there. That happened right in front of me. Packers, I think, ended up going on and winning that match.
I don't know, but all I remember.
Can we double check that, Max?
I think that. I think
they did.
Is when he got fined $10,000. He just goes, "How are they going to pay that?" He goes, "Straight cash, homie." Straight cash, homie. So that was an epic. Like he just puts the thing down. I'm like, dude, I remember watching that game. I think I was in Cincy, obviously.
So you were, yeah.
I'm like,
sure.
Randy Moss is a legend, and then he goes, "How are you going to pay that fine?" Straight cash, homie. That ain't going to break me. I'm like, this guy's a beauty.
So that
Minnesota won.
Oh, they did. What was the score? Last minute drive?
30-17.
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
Hopefully
I wasn't old enough to even know what to gamble. I didn't even know what lines were back then.
Yeah, me either.
But it was a great game. Oh, so they did lose.
That's a cool, that was your first NFL experience.
On the way home, the weather was so bad. On the way home, we ended up in the ditch with 80 cars.
Really?
We were driving my buddy's Porsche. He had like a
Porsche.
Yeah. So
like a Cayenne or like a Porsche turbo, like a Cayenne.
It was like the hatchback. Yeah. And we end up just taking a digger with 80 car pile up in the ditch.
Okay.
We were all going slow, but you just couldn't stop and just in there.
What'd you do then? You had to get someone to pull you out, or?
Yeah, We hung out and then drank some more beers. Came back.
That was an epic game. I love Randy Moss. That's what I loved, Randy Moss. Little moon, little straight cash, homie. Listen, my boy, the Updog, he gets the grape juice in him. And listen, X, nobody's safe anymore on X. I love it. You're bringing the heat. Listen, your tweet about, or your post about Sergei Gonchar and the effect that he's had on the Quinn Hughes, and it's a great take. So listen, keep the grape juice going. Keep it going, baby. I love it.
Thanks,
good
buddy.
content.
Yeah, I was getting her going for the boys. And then listen, and then Izzy, without further ado, my daughter, who is 3, had her first dance recital in Newport Beach. Talk about the scene in there.
I can only imagine.
It's like Big Canyon on steroids with people, the families, and the kids, and the outfits.
People in Newport love having kids.
I know, but it's like, it's crazy.
They're all rich and they just get married. And
I'm like in there, and I'm like, holy, the net worth.
What happened? What happened?
But she crushed it.
She looked adorable.
NSYNC, "I Want You Back" was the song. They killed it. She's a ball energy. She had so much fun, and it's literally like, Harry, we're really doing this. Like,
yeah. Well, listen,
it's that time.
If she could dance anything like her dad used to dance, then she's going to be first star of that recital, right?
Oh yeah,
because you used to move and shake nicely. Not that you still can. No, you still can.
Not right now. My back's in one.
Yeah. No, she looked beautiful. God, she looks like you. And unless I was up at your house the other day having a nice Hoya cigar with you, and she came home, she's got a lot of you in her too, which that'll be interesting when it plays. when we're turning old and gray, and I'm like, I can't wait to hear. Well, you might be at the parties with him still. Right? You might still be at the parties. No, Uppy, she looked gorgeous, buddy. Last but not least, here on Uppy's World, we talk about betting. DraftKings, baby, biggest line I've ever seen. Minus 558 the other night, Vegas versus the Sharks. I took them puck line. Thank God they won, but 558. Like, they had sticks out there too, didn't they? Say,
yeah, well, that's often what
you guys are playing with sticks.
Did they play with no skates on?
I mean, minus 558 is the biggest line I've ever seen.
Or did they not have a goalie in that?
I don't know. But
I know. I remember when you hit that puck line, you're like, do not bet this. You're ice cold. I don't need you on this too. And I'm like, okay, I'll sit this one out.
No, listen, I was ice cold too. That was a tough week for me. But
so that is a big line. That's like in tennis, if
line.
If Djokovic played in the first round against some no-namer.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money to risk for.
That's minus 558 for a hockey game.
Hockey
outrageous in the NHL. That's sending a message to the Sharks. Although they've played better. I got to give Dave Quinn some credit in the character in that dressing room, and they got it. Well, what's going to happen with Thomas Hurdle? Who's going to get this? This guy's legit, man. He got to get out of there.
He's just signed a 6 or 8 year deal.
Yeah, last year maybe.
Kicked in last year.
Yeah,
he's a legit big old Checo. He plays the game the right way.
Yeah, but Uppy's World party time, excellent. Right in to get this guy a beer. My boy, once again, Wigsy baby. 400 NHL games brings a tear to my eye. 400.
Possible captain here in a couple of years in Calgary too, by the way.
Yeah.
Nice long-term
techie. He tries to get traded out of there. But 400 games. I knew he was going to play the first time I saw him, so I wanted to give some love to Wigsy baby. Keep going, fella. Remember 400 games used to be the full pension? Get the jacket.
Yeah.
Full pension.
I got the jacket.
Yeah,
actually.
mine's at home too.
Yeah, my parents.
NHLPA, 400 games.
My dad has so many. My mom and dad, shout out to them. Scott and Mandy, they have so many of my old hockey jackets. It's absurd. I mean,
I know. I saw it. I was
novice Pee Wee. Yeah, crazy.
I know where you get it from. I seen your garage too. You got a lot of shit in there too.
Yeah, totally. Shout out to my boys in the St. Louis Blues organization. 200 wins for my boy Craig Berube as a head coach of the Blues. That's a pretty big feat. And then in the same game, Shannon Bushnevich. I hope I didn't butch that.
Bushnevich, no, you got it right on. Bushnevich.
Both with hat tricks in the same game, and big fella, that has not happened since 1986. What a feat. They went in and they absolutely shelled your Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, I took them
on the road.
Down on the chin.
But the Blues needed it. They're going pretty good right now. The Blues are getting out of the little funk they had. It's welcoming Bob Bertuzzo back to the lineup.
Bobble.
How are you?
And your boy, last but not least there?
Jaden Schwartz, my boy. Schwartzy. 9-game point streak. Kept it alive last night in Colorado.
He was buzzing.
He's a great player. He's a water bug. He's always around.
Schwartz
makes the right play.
Schwartz, you're a great guy. Good player.
Yeah.
Uppy loves you. I hate the Kraken. I hate their team. I mean, the fans are great. I've never been out, but the way they play, us the franchise. I'm watching the game last night, and it's still from the playoffs. But the gourds out there and that Bjorkstrom, the Swede, drives me nuts. And come on, their team, man, they drive me bonkers, Uppy. I don't know what it is, but
it's because they own your abs.
they own me.
They got beat last night.
Oh, but they do. They got.
What do you think? What do you think Seattle needs? Because they're not having a great year. What do they need to be like? To maybe to have Shane O'Brien like them?
No, I mean, listen. I
do?
respect the way they play. I respect the way Hackstall's come in there and built that culture, and they're a bunch of guys that teams gave up on. I just think the way they play. If I played against them,
if they had Miles Wood on their team, would you like him?
I don't know if I'm ever going to like them up because of the damage is already done. I respect the way they play, and they are a good, hard team. And I picked them to miss the playoffs just because I thought there'd be a little bit of a letdown. But the way they played the last couple of weeks, they're probably going to prove me wrong. But it's just from the Avalanche series last year and the way the other night, same thing against the Avs. They score with Bjorkstrom again. It's cost me so much money, that guy. Backdoor, tap in. The Kraken. I got to get up there for a game, though. The stadium looks amazing.
I'll go anytime. Play some golf with our boy Ian Ritchie.
I love the Kraken's fans, though. And I love Johnny Forsling and Eddie O.
Yeah.
I love those guys. They call a great game. Just if I was playing against them, I'd take a lot of penalties probably. So, last but not least here, I wanted to give some love to Leo Carlson. Get this guy a beer. Youngest Duck to ever get a hat trick.
Wow, good for him.
Then you go from the youngest guy to the oldest guy. My former teammate, Mark Giordano. Oldest guy to ever get in a fight in Leafs history. That team's been around a long time. And Gio, I'm jealous. I wish I could be the oldest guy to ever fight for the Leafs.
That's great.
So hopefully you had an ice cold beer, Gio, after that game.
Sticking up for a teammate. Well done.
Well done. Get those boys a Labatt Blue. Parlayed right into the old milk carton up, dog. It's going to be the second time I've put myself on the milk carton. I am once again going to put myself on the milk carton for Connor Bedard. This kid is proving me wrong. He has 9 goals now. The only chance I have is if he
don't even say it.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, if he gets hurt, then I got a chance of maybe winning some of my bets that I put against him. Playing great. And the biggest reason I'm putting myself on the milk carton is I thought he would struggle 5-on-5, and I believe he's leading the league in 5-on-5 goals. So, Connor, your rookie puke.
You did
I'm
it to
back
me.
on the
You're
milk
shoving
carton
it to
again.
me.
I mean, listen, when this kid gets the puck, it's unbelievable. So I'm back on the milk carton, dog.
I'm going to put this guy in the milk carton right now. I played a long time with him. I know he respects me and my opinion, and I'm doing this to get him out of a funk. But my boy Hubie, he was benched the entire third period last week in Nashville. It's not a big deal. I've been benched the whole game before, Hubie. Don't worry about just Hubie. One period.
Take the skates off.
In the game, Flames come back and win. That's even more salt on the wound. But in 14 games, he's only got 2 goals, 5 assists. So this is the curfew bump for you, fella.
Yeah,
let's hope he gets you out of there, and not out of Calgary, not yet anyway. But let's turn it around, baby. You're too good of a player. We'll get you back in there. Forecheck, get to the net, put your stick down, make plays, baby.
Yeah, Hubie, we love you here, buddy. And the same as Connor. Smile, Hubes. You're making $10.5 million. Don't listen to all these people, Flames, that are ripping you. Listen, they ripped me too. They hated me up there, and I was making a lot less than you, but. Enjoy the game. He's trying. He's trying. He's trying.
I know.
Let's go curfew milk carton bump. Last but not least for my milk carton. Listen, we're media now. We've turned to the dark side. But the media in Edmonton and all of Canada really, but I mean Edmonton is, in particular, the other night after the Sharks game, they lose. They're at the lowest low point of the season. And I don't know who it was. Asked Draisaitl some question, and Draisaitl gave a nice observation. Nice observation. Is that how you say observation?
Yep.
Is that right?
Nice. Yeah, observation.
Observation, thank you. Like looking at him like, sorry, Max, fuck off. Right? You know what I mean? Like, get out of here, bud. To the media guys up there, it's not NFL. They don't play 1 game a week. You're going to see Leon Draisaitl at the rink tomorrow. Give him the night to go home and just sleep it off. And then ask him the next day, hey, Leon, can I pull you aside, buddy? What have you been, whatever that stupid question was then, if you give him a night to cool down and talk to him after practice, you're going to get a better answer out of him. Like, that was a low point to ask that question. So whoever that guy up there in the media was, I'm not sure it was, I'm putting you on the milk carton. When these guys are struggling, maybe give them a night to fucking relax and then ask them the next day at practice. Because those guys, they're going to be there at practice. They're there every day, up dog.
He should have went Jacob Voracek on the guy.
What did you do?
Oh, it's the best clip of all time with Jacob Voracek sitting in that meeting. And he just snaps and loses it. And he can hardly speak English to start with.
He's hilarious.
And he just starts ripping into, I think it's this guy, Panaccio at the time. And I don't know, but this guy, he lets him have it. And it was a beautiful sight. Anyway, sometimes the media.
Was that in Philly?
Yeah.
Sometimes
the media need to hear that.
Yeah, just listen. I know you got a job to do.
Yeah.
We understand it now. We've started doing it ourselves, but we get it. But like when the guy's at rock bottom and he's the second best player on the planet, and they just lost
You're
a
asking stupid
stinker.
questions. Yeah.
Don't ask him that. You're not going to get the answer you want. He's lucky you didn't light him up more. Like, just give him the night.
Yeah.
Like, and even if I was a PR guy in Edmonton, I might have been that night. Hey, Leon, Connor, you guys don't have to answer today. We'll pay the fine. Right? You don't think they don't want to answer that question?
I agree.
Yeah.
So. The league's made about answering tough questions sometimes, but look, come on.
Yeah, but there's 80. I mean, you're going to see him tomorrow at the rink in practice.
You're so right.
Lay off these guys and have some common, like, professional courtesy to realize that they're at rock bottom. To ask a stupid question, you're going to get a stupid answer, right? Plus, they were stuck in San Jose. There's nothing to do after the game. What did you do?
Nothing.
I know what you did.
Release.
Around the National League here, I'm going to tease that into my milk carton. Connor Bedard, who is sticking it right up my, you know what?
Bungholio.
Listen, kid's a player. I was, he's going to score. He scored 50 this year. I mean, he's proven me wrong, like I said. But listen, cool. First of all, let me start with my boy, Matty Chuck. Should have said, get this guy a beer. Goes up to Bedard, cross-checks him, gives it to him. Listen, he's still a rookie. And you could call me an old crusty, whatever you want to call me, but he's still a rookie. Chucky, I love that. More guys getting this guy's grill. Kulikov on a clean hit rubs him out. And then Nick Foligno, God love him. Foligno, I love you. Comes in and grabs Cooley. That is hockey. I love the hit by Cooley on Bedard.
That's a great sequence.
And then I love Foligno coming in. That is NHL, and that still gives me hope down here that is men playing a men's game. So that whole sequence, it's a good learning curve for Bedard. Great by Kulikov. Chucky, I love it. Give this kid a bit of a rough ride out there. I mean,
Chucky got it.
He's got 9 goals.
Yeah, Chucky got it given to him when he was 19.
I know.
So did Foligno. So did all of us did. But all of us got, when your first couple of years in the league, you step up and, you score some goals. And you think you're the next best thing, which he is.
Well, he is.
But someone needs to step up and bring you back down to earth.
Yeah. How about the short side spink dink he had in the Panthers? Stripped the guy in the corner.
And then just
ripped it.
I know. His stick is the size of, it's long. It's a pole. It's like one of those batons that you high jump over he's long stick. And
which is nice to have.
And it's quite impressive how he uses that long stick. Yeah, it's real. So good on that. I love
crafty with that long stick.
Yeah, you do.
Do you think he stays healthy for all 82?
I've been watching him train and watching those videos of him. Like he's not lacking, he's not lacking strength. He's not lacking mobility. If anything, and this is why I think he might, Obi, is because he doesn't play reckless. Like I'll say,
he's
Connor
not going to hit anyone. You don't have to worry about that.
But I mean, look at how fast Connor McDavid would skate down the ice, beating a D wide.
Oh, okay, I see where we're going. Yeah.
Connor Bedard's not really he's not going to challenge a guy going 95 miles an hour skating wide, where the guy can hit his skate and he falls into the boards like Jack Hughes and like Cale Makar.
Yeah.
These guys, you skate so fast. One little trip into the boards that don't move.
Totally.
So Connor, that I would say, if I could give you any advice, is if you have a 50-50 chance sometimes, and a D's gonna
just
turn up, bud.
Fight to live another day.
Turn up.
Fight to live another day.
Turn up. Find the high guy, which would be Obi coming down, slapping his stick.
Yeah, what a
feed him for
passer,
backhand sauce and celebrating the corner.
Well, you're right. The same thing happened at Lekkinen the other night. He's going so fast, it runs into Orleski, who's 6'7", and almost breaks his neck.
That was so bad.
Like, it's so scary. Let me ask you this: Do you? I haven't watched Bedard play that much. I watched him play to start the season off. I love watching Corey Perry play. I love watching Nick Foligno play. Do you love watching Bedard play? Right? Like, does he bring you to the edge of your seat? You're like, wow,
you got
this
your
kid,
eyes on him the whole time.
Oh, this kid's great.
Yeah,
does he?
Yeah, and imagine he played with another player.
He doesn't do that for me.
But imagine it was Mitch Marner and him, or if it was him and Matthews, or him and anybody. Like
Matthews, when he first came in the league, 4 goals first game. I couldn't wait to watch him play. McDavid, McKinnon.
He played with Rantanen.
I'm just saying, Bedard to me, and this is just my opinion, fellas, he doesn't put me on the edge of my seat right now. And maybe I got to start watching him more because he is starting to heat up. And maybe it's just because, like you said, he's not a complete speedster. And maybe I'll grow to love his game. I love his release. I mean, his shot is insane. And he's killing it. But right now, I'm not like must-see TV. That's just my opinion.
No, the Blackhawks are not must-see TV.
But Corey Perry is.
Well, yeah. So then maybe you should start watching these games.
Maybe I should.
You should ask Pears. Let's get Pears on.
We're going to get Pears on.
Let's ask Pears about the inside and outs of Connor Bedard.
I'll tell you what. If I'm a GM, I'm already calling about Nick Foligno and Corey Perry at the deadline. But Nick Foligno, you tell me you don't want this guy on your team. Like, this guy can still play. Made a hell of a pass to Bedard on a 2-on-1 when Bedard went spink dink.
Yeah.
This Nick Foligno, I mean, I love this kid.
Yeah.
I love it. But yeah, Bedard's proven me wrong, man.
Yeah, yes.
It's going to cost me all. I got so many
nice
rookie
bottle
of
of
the
wine.
year. Dude, I bet you.
Yeah, you did.
What?
Yeah, we got rookie of the year we have a bet rookie of the year.
Take?
I got Bedard. You got the other kids.
I got everyone else.
Everyone.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
I think you said actually Carlson and the kid in.
No, I said
Fantilli.
Logan Cooley and Adam Fantilli.
So you got those two. I got Bedard. Which, Fantilli, he's having a good start.
I'm in one right now. Bedard's running away with the call.
Yeah,
running away. I might as well just give you the ball of the wine right now. But franchise, what'd you think, buddy? What'd you think of the show back there? Are you ready to go tee it up, or what are you doing back there?
We're working hard back here on the ones and twos, me and Max. Yeah, we're going to have a good time this afternoon. We've had a great time so far here. I always want to say thank you so much, Rose, for always taking such good care of me whenever we come down.
Yeah, no, buddy. I love you. How's the couch been treating you? You don't mind that couch at the Bay Club, do you?
No, nobody can shut her down like you and me, bud. That's 110.
I appreciate you, brother. Up, dog. I love you. Maxie Hall Pass Media. Thank you, buddy. That was Missin Curfew.
Fellas.